Good evening, everyone. My name is Nikki Hill Albert, and I will be your host for tonight's event. First and foremost, happy Women's Month to all of our viewers, especially to all of the ladies tuned in right now. I'm really so happy to be with all of you tonight because we will be in the presence of such inspiring and powerful women, and this is truly such an honor. So, this whole month, we saw how the world honored what women are capable of with a call to hashtag break the bias. And tonight's event culminates a month of women empowerment with our event Breaking the Bias online and beyond. So Google and YouTube believe that in order to help hashtag break the bias, we have to hashtag ask her first. So this is the theme for this culminating event. So when we say ask her first, we emphasize the value of asking women instead of leaning into stereotypes and preconceived notions. So ask her first is it's simply a sign of respect, and this can empower women to realize their full potential and pursue what they really want in life. So this is why tonight we have an inspiring roster of Filipina content creators to tackle the different challenges that women face because of gender based biases and how they use their platform to make a difference. So, sa mga nanonood dyan, we're inviting everyone to be a part of tonight's conversations. Just use the hashtag ask her first and break the bias in the comments section, and of course on your social media posts. And while you're at it, share our live stream links with your friends so they can join in on our conversations tonight as well. All right, to start our evening off formally, let us hear a message from the country director of Google Philippines, Bernadette Nacario.
Hello everyone. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Thank you for joining us. This is Det Nacario from Google Philippines. Happy Women's Month. Throughout the month of March, we have witnessed many inspiring stories of women showing the world that yes, women are everything and more. We are thinkers, fighters, visionaries, achievers, and doers, all while being a mother, sister, daughter, and friend. Wow, indeed, it's extraordinary to be a woman. I'm grateful to all the women in my life who shaped me, including my mom and my mentors. The theme for this year's Women's Month is hashtag break the bias, which resonates so much with me. I myself experienced this. I felt that I had to break the biases that are attached to being a woman back in the day when I was just starting in the tech industry. Now, let me share with you my own break the bias story. During my early days in the tech industry, I'd attend regional meetings to represent the Philippine subsidiary, and I was the only woman in the boardroom, surrounded by outspoken foreign male leaders. I have to admit, it made me uncomfortable, but I took this as an opportunity to show that leadership is gender agnostic. This mindset helped me thrive in this male dominated enclave. With hard work, faith, and determination, I showed to them that I too can make it. I focus on my values and deep sense of purpose in making a difference, not just in the business, but in the community. I'm humbled that all this led me to leadership positions in tech companies like Google. But I wasn't able to achieve this alone. I owe it to the many people who helped and supported me along the way. I wouldn't be able to make it without them. Now, the world has made great progress, and there are many other inspiring women leaders out there who continue to thrive in their chosen fields. However, this doesn't mean that we should be complacent. We should continue to stand up and sustain what we have started. I believe that in order for us to break the bias, one of the steps we have to make is to hashtag ask her first. Through this, we emphasize the value of asking women first as a sign of respect and acknowledgement, and to stop assumptions and preconceived notions. The simple habit of asking rather than assuming can lead more women to realizing their full potential and succeeding in what they choose to do. Tonight, in this virtual forum, we will hear from admirable young women on how they are breaking the bias online and beyond. I can't wait to get to know them and be inspired by their stories. I'm sure you will learn from them tonight as well. To our speaker, Ejipa, Giselle, Helen, and Ara, thank you for taking the time and sharing with us your story. Before I close, I'd like you to remember this powerful quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She became the second female justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. She served the court from 1993 until her death in 2020. Women belong in all places where decisions are being made. This Women's Month and beyond, may we continue to break not just the bias, but all the barriers that disconnect women from opportunities that matter, opportunities that give us a voice, power, and capability to succeed. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Enjoy the rest of the event, and I hope to see you all soon.
Thank you for those powerful words of wisdom, Miss Bernadette. Wow, we started strong, everyone, and I'm really so excited to introduce to you our lineup of inspiring Filipina content creators who will be speaking within the next hour. So hindi ko na patatagalin pa. First up, she is a champion of body positivity who is not your typical beauty vlogger because she's shown us her makeup skills on a whole other level. Tops of roller coasters, on jeeps and motorcycles across the streets of Metro Manila, and so much more. And in addition to being the woman behind her YouTube channel, Helen on Fleek, she has also launched her plus-sized clothing line, serving as an inspiration to girls across the Philippines. Please welcome Helen Payawal, or as her subscribers know her, Helen on Fleek. Hey, Helen!
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Hi, Miss Nikki, and I'm happy to be with this amazing and inspiring women. And also, happy Women's Month, everyone.
Amazing! We can't wait to hear your story. I'm sure marami ka nga share sa amin at marami kaming mapupulot from not just a beautiful face, but a true woman of substance.
Thank
So
you.
thank you again for joining us. Up next, we have with us a woman of many professions. She's an inspirational speaker, an entrepreneur, a business coach, a personal brand consultant, and PWD rights advocate. She started her YouTube journey as a passion project where she wanted to share her life and experiences as a person with disability. And now her content has expanded beyond that. She shares personal branding, entrepreneurship, and content marketing, travel blogs, and of course, inspirational content as a differently abled person, proving that women can achieve anything when they put their mind to it. Give a virtual round of applause for Giselle Tech. Hi, Giselle.
Hey Nikki, hello lovely people. It's really an honor to be invited here among these three incredible ladies, and I'm just so excited na marinig sa kanila firsthand their unconventional yet inspiring stories.
Rinig ko na ang kwento mo, Giselle, and ang masasabi ko lang is I'm excited for everyone to hear your story because I mean, I'm confident that there is something there that has never occurred to them before, and they will pick that up, and I just can't wait. I'm very excited. Thank you again for joining us, Giselle. We'll speak to you later. Our next speaker is a Maranao Muslim content creator from Marawi City. She started her YouTube journey 8 years ago with self-produced short films and has since been using her platform to raise awareness and debunk misconceptions about the Maranao Muslim community. Sharing about their food, culture, and promoting tourism in her province, she has also dabbled in television in the wardrobe department of GMA's The Legal Wives. Please welcome Ejipa Balindong. Hi, Ejipa.
Assalamualaikum. Hi and hello everyone. Good evening, Nikki. Good evening everyone, and happy Women's Month. I'm excited and happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. I see that you're not home. Are you at work? Are we catching you at work? You seem like you're very busy these days.
Parang ganun na nga.
Parang gano'n na nga. Sige. Susulitin namin na nga aming oras with you. So we'll speak with you later on. See you, Ejipa. And last but definitely not the least is someone that I can relate to the most. She is a mommy slash blogger who launched rookiemommy.ph in 2015, which now has a YouTube channel counterpart. And she's the founder of First Time Moms PH. So she balances her career as a full time work from home freelancer and content creator alongside being a homeschool educator and mom to her 6-year-old daughter. Everyone, Ara Solis. Hey, Ara.
Hey Nikki! Hey everyone! I'm super excited to be here and I just can't wait to share stories and meet incredible women in our platform. So good evening everyone and happy Women's Month.
Is your daughter asleep already? Is that why mommy has some time?
Yes!
Alam natin gaano kahirap to carve out time. But again, we appreciate making time for all of us, and I'm sure all of our viewers appreciate it as well. So I think wag na nating patagalin pa. Let's bring in our beautiful and inspiring ladies once again. Helen, Giselle, Ejipa, and Ara. I mean, I'm thankful for technology, deeply grateful for technology, but sometimes I wish we were at an actual event face to face, right? But nonetheless, I'm so happy that we have this platform and we are actually able to reach more. Diba? We're able to reach more people. So I'm so ecstatic to share the conversations that we will be having. So are we experiencing any technical difficult? No, we're good. I think we're good. We don't want anything interrupting kasi we're about to get deep. Because again, I believe this conversation is so important to have. Kaya again, because this is a conversation, we want our viewers to get involved. So for those of you at home, I'm sure marami kayong mga tanong or marami kayong mga insight. Usap tayo, guys. All you have to do is do a hashtag ask her first and hashtag break the bias. Yes, and we're gonna try our very best to read everyone's comments and messages. I believe na hindi lang mga women ang nanonood sa atin ngayon. We also have men who are wanting to educate themselves about this very important mission that we are going for, that we are fighting for. So again, hashtag ask her first and hashtag break the bias. Alrighty, I think let's get the ball rolling. And because I really want to dive deep, hatiin natin sa dalawang grupo ang ating mga inspiring ladies. So let's maybe start with Helen and Giselle. Ara and Najipa, we'll talk to you again in a bit. But for now, let's have Helen and Giselle back with us. And I think let's start with something personal na agad, di ba? Wag na tayong magpasikot-sikot. Dive na tayo. Okay lang ba yun? Okay lang ba yun, girls?
Yes.
All right. So I guess this question I want to throw to both of you. What is your hashtag break the bias and hashtag ask her first story? So basically, I want to know if you've ever been in a situation where you wanted to do something, but someone else insisted on doing it for you, or someone else insisted that you couldn't do it just because you're a woman. Like, how do you rise above this kinds of situations? So maybe we can start with Helen.
Okay. So, in line with our events theme na break the bias, I just want to share 3 things about me first. First is being me a plus size woman. So, alam naman natin yun na mga tao, marami silang comments, especially sa bodies ng mga babae, na feeling nila basta para masabi nila maganda ka, kailangan payat ka. And ayaw natin nun. And also, second is me being content creator. So, during my initial years kasi when I started posting content like photos, madalas ako mag-post talaga ng photos me in a swimsuit, ganyan. And I would read comments na parang mahiya ka naman, laki ng braso mo, laki ng hita mo, ganyan. And yung iba, especially, yung may mga men talaga na nagko-comment na parang I'm just trying to get their attention, which is not my intention din talaga when I post it, because I just want to wear what I want to wear. So parang dating is very sexual when in fact kapag mga men ang gumawa nun, they look at it as very wow, macho, very confident. But if women do it, parang they're just attention seeking. And then lastly, as an I have a startup clothing brand nga, as mentioned earlier. My partner and I usually did the legwork. So talagang mga pagbuhat ng mga tela, ganyan. And
Mhm.
parang sasabihin nila sa akin na, kaya mo ba yan? Eh, ang bigat-bigat niyan, ganyan. So, parang sa akin, of course, kaya ko, because I have I have legs, I have arms,
Correct.
carry
Yes.
everything. So, parang wala namang pinagkaiba sa ating dalawa. So, of course, I can carry it. And one way to prove that I can do it is just I carried the whole thing on my shoulder and just wala na ako sinabi. I just did it just to prove them na kaya ko to. Because no matter what, meron akong same whatever you have.
Yeah. So, Helen, I mean, you mentioned it, no? Parang, this is why I believe that events like these are so important. It's because I think it really also is a lack of education about, parang, it's a type of microaggression di ba? When you say na, kaya mo ba? Babae ka lang. But, on the other hand, some people like mean well na gusto nilang tumulong, which is why parang it's so important for us to just ask her first. Like, would you have been insulted if they just asked you? Diba?
Yeah.
Hindi, diba? Parang kung tinanong lang nila ng, do you need help? Parang hindi ka naman may insulto, pero dinagdagan pa kasi ng,
Yes.
oo, diba?
Because you're woman.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's why it's so important for us to, help educate. Those, though, who bash for the sake of bashing, I don't know what we do with them. but those who are, genuinely, genuinely wanting to do the right thing and to further this cause, talagang important talaga yung mga ganitong mga usapan. But Helen, you know what? I look at you and really, all I see is a confident woman who is proud of how she looks. You're beautiful, you're glowing. But I just want to know, has anything ever made you kind of hesitate to pursue your career and your business right now? And what did you learn from this experience?
Okay. So, when I started vlogging, I knew that I wouldn't fit in the beauty standards because kasi yung social media para sa akin dati, para lang siyang extension ng TV. It's just more accessible to more people. Pero, so yun, naisip ko na parang di man ako masyadong artistahin, ganyan. So,
Ganda mo, girl.
pero kasi di ba meron tayong standards na when you want to be like an artista, kailangan payat ka, maganda ka, para magustuhan ka ng audience mo. Pero I realized that the beauty of getting into YouTube kasi yung mga viewers natin ngayon, they want realness and authenticity, and they want to watch people na who can they relate to, and I'm very happy to be in this platform. Ayan. So, syempre, gusto ko na lang din mag-advise para sa mga fellow plus-size women natin dyan, no? Kasi,
Go ahead.
know, diba, a lot of us, tayo mga plus-size, ganyan, a lot of us felt so insecure growing up. Pero there's this one quote that I want to share, na shinare din sa akin ng friend ko and I will never forget. Sabi niya, be someone who you needed when you were younger. So,
that's nice.
the moment that I learned to love and accept the body that I am in, I wanted to share that confidence because yun yung parang one step toward achieving the parang real happiness. Kasi I wanted to be someone who can inspire my fellow plus-size women that once you get over yung hiya and yung kung yung sasabihin ng mga ibang tao tungkol sa'yo, di ba? Nililimit ka kasi nila na parang hindi mo kaya gawin yan kasi hindi naman yan yung kalakihan natin na standard. So, because you're different. And pag dumating ka na doon sa point na yon in your life, you will be limitless. And you can do whatever you want. And you can also inspire other people as as well. So, if ikaw na nanonood ngayon, meron kang tinatagong bikini na matagal na nasa closet mo, this is it. Suotin mo na
Naku,
yan.
wait lang, Helen. Napakuha ko lang yung akin.
Suotin mo yung crop top na gusto mo. And kung meron kang vlog na parang nagpe-film ka ng paunti-unti sa phone mo, alam ko, gustong-gusto mo na i-upload yan. This is your time. Kasi by the end of the day, it's your happiness that matters.
It's your happiness that matters. Thank you very much, Helen, for your inspiring story. I'm sure many of our viewers are, taking from what you said and putting them to heart. So again, maraming salamat. Let's move on to Giselle. Giselle, I will throw you again this question now. Wala man lang ka small talk. Dive ka agad tayo. What is your break the bias and ask her first story? Again, I'm sure you've been in a situation where you wanted to do something, but someone else insisted on either doing it for you or insisted on you just not doing it at all. And how did you rise above the situation?
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Nikki, for that wonderful question. But I wanted to say first na I'm so inspired to be in the same stage right now with Helen kasi sobrang just by hearing what she have to say, especially the last part that your happiness is what really matters. I find inspiration from it. So thank you, Helen. Although unlike Helen, she was mentioning kanina that I have my complete limbs with me, and so definitely I can do this. I think in my situation, these assumptions, these challenges, it's actually the norm given my situation that I am a differently abled woman. Hence, people quickly assume that I would need help, or I can do certain things. Because society has imprinted this stereotypical view on what's possible for people like us. Simply because they see our physical limitations. Isang tingin mo lang sa akin, makikita mo na yung wheelchair ko, right? So it's not unusual to me, to be honest, because when growing up, some basic things like my education, magka-college ba siya o hindi, has been a debate among relatives because some thought it would be a waste of time, money, resources, because eventually I'd end up as a tambay, a bum, like have no future. So no one asked me what I want to do, nor my opinion, but my mom. And so when she asked me and I told her like, yes, I'd like to pursue college and I wanted to take that entrance exam, she was so sure of me and she let me be. That's why I think false assumptions or quick judgments have always been part of my life. Kahit nga sa simpleng sa mall or sa elevator. Like, I think the most common assumption that I typically experience is when I'm outside, people get curious about me. I don't know why. Maybe, not sure if it's because of my beauty, I hope. But
yes,
then,
I believe it is.
they would talk, they would be curious, and then they would talk or ask my companion about me rather than talk to me directly. Because they automatically assume na I cannot handle the conversation or I cannot talk on my own. And the craziest thing about that is I'm just right there. Andun lang ako. Nasa
You
harap
can
mo.
hear.
Right. And so how I typically handle this is, I'd look at the person, smile at them, or sometimes I would call them out. Like, hey, I can hear you. I'm here. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer you. But most often than not, they would be caught off guard and they won't talk anymore. But I just really believe that it's the most respectful way to do. Like, ask me or anyone, any differently abled person first. Ask them first before our companion. Kasi if nandun lang kami sa harap mo, by approaching our companion first, we'd feel like you see us as an unequal or incapable. And it immediately starts on the wrong foot. Although, as you said, may mga tao na hindi naman talaga yun yung intention eh. And I understand. Probably they just need awareness, education. Some even think that it's an attempt to be accommodating or even respectful. But I think the better choice is to ask first. Because
Yeah.
helping or assuming before um it implies that they are not capable or it could offend someone. Primarily because kung buong buhay nila, they have worked to be able to take care of themselves. They have spent a long time, 2022 na tayo eh. They have spent a long time adjusting to a different way of living. Then, give it to them. Ibigay natin sa kanila because they deserve it.
That's right. You know, Giselle, I listen to you and I'm just imagining how these biases affect you in multiple layers because you are number one, first and foremost, a woman. So meron na tayong layer ng biases na kaakibat doon and also as a differently abled woman. So I mean, you gave us specifics a while ago, ano, and you did mention you're actually very forgiving about it because these leaning into stereotypes, it's very it's deeply entrenched in our cultures. I don't know if it's a Pinoy thing na hindi mo na magtanong, assume na lang tayo, you know, or nahihiya tayo, you know. It's I think it's a cultural thing. So what do you think should change?
Right. In most cases kasi, especially, you're right, here in the Philippines, most cases, people mistakenly equate disability with all the negative assumptions and misconceptions in the world, like misery, vulnerability, inability, loneliness, lahat-lahat na. You know, the stereotypes of being a broken person. But the truth is, we are not broken. We are just living life in a very different way. Just like you and everyone else, you know, you have your preferences in living your life. And with us, it might not be our preferences, but we continuously find ways to adapt to our situation. And I think and I believe that this is the biggest challenge here, the mindset. Because it's really something hard to break, right?
Yeah.
Kasi kung nakasanayan na, naging kultura na, mahirap talaga. But it's not impossible. I think the best way to reduce this is painfully simple lang. Huwag tayo mag-husga agad. View without filters and listen without judgmental lenses. Like read yourself of preconceived notions when meeting a new person, you know? Like when you go out and you get to meet someone, just see them as a blank state. Like allow them to have that canvas and be decorated with their actual preferences, skills, character nila, personality, the more that you get to know them. Kasi magugulat ka na lang talaga on what people can be capable of without really judging them. You know, you'll be surprised what you can learn about these people when you free up some space and throw away, you know, initial judgment of them. Kaya I think the best change that needs to happen is to never assume because most assumptions are wrong. That's why
Just ask.
we have That's why we have this thing called asking in the first place, right? For us not to have this avoidable mistake. But change won't happen if no one speaks up. That's why this is really, as you said, a very good platform to make people be aware of this thing because you know, like as we advise everyone, you know, huwag tayo mag-assume, guys, never assume things. I'd also like to remind everyone who is on our side, yung nasa side naman natin na people don't usually intend to offend you. Not all
they mean well.
Right.
Some of them mean well most of the time. I just have a question to throw at both of you before we let you go and let you take a break. Ano? We've been talking about biases and stereotypes and all of these are in the context of another person doing it to us. For both of you, though, I'm sure there were moments and instances where your voice was the loudest voice.
Mhm.
Did you ever get to that point where
Yes.
the loudest voice was actually yours? What
Mm-mm.
did you do about it?
Itong voice ba na ito ay yung negative voice?
Yes! Naku, alam ko yan.
Oo, of course. Kasi sometimes, when, kasi wala kang, hindi mo tina-trust yung sarili mo and hindi mo alam yung capabilities mo, yun yung, ang mas nagsisink in sa'yo yung sinasabi ng iba, tapos yun yung nagre-replay all over
Mm,
sa head
until
mo.
you start to believe it.
Yes, nagiging truth mo na siya. Kaya kailangan sobrang maging matatag ka and always, ako talaga, pag kunyari gumigising ako, parang yung ano ba yung tawag nila doon, yung
Affirmations.
affirmations, yes, yung talagang maganda ako. Kahit it sounds so vain, pero if it helps you, just
Yes.
do it. Kasi yun
Okay.
nga, kailangan mo talaga siya.
Giselle, do you do the same thing?
Right.
O iba approach?
Well, I know, for one, I have this critical mind na ako mismo yung this loud and sometimes, or aminin natin, most of the time, having negative self-talk. But
Yeah.
somehow, I have realized that there are thousands of people who will speak negatively about me. I don't want to be one of them.
Yes.
And
I like
as I was
that.
saying earlier, that before we get offended or before we take things personally, with other people's intentions, maybe we have to not assume as well, being on the other side. I
Mhm.
think this is the best time for us to educate them, to make them be aware, because not everyone is aware of what we are going through, and people would really tell me, alam mo, common sense na yan eh, like no brainer na yan, pero hindi kasi ganun.
It's not
Like,
always the case. Yes.
it's not for
Mm-mm.
everyone. And so maybe because they just have a different perspective, or probably they're clueless. And so when this happens, and if I get to do this to my own self, I really, pause and think, like, is this true? If not, then move on.
Yes.
Let it go. Let the thought go. All right. Thank you very much, ladies. Invaluable insight, definitely. I'm sure, kung pwede lang ako mag-take down notes, ang dami ko nang naisulat. But thank you for joining us again. We're gonna get back to you later on. We'll hear from you again later on kasi meron pa tayong question and answer portion. So definitely we will see you again later. But for now, I would like to welcome back Ijipa Balindong and Ara Solis of Rookie Mommy PH. Again, while we're waiting for them to get back in, we want to remind our viewers to be part of the discussion by using the hashtag #AskHerFirst and hashtag #BreakTheBias. So we will be entertaining questions from our audience later on. So if you have questions for any of the lovely ladies with us here tonight, please, wag na tayong mahiya. Post them in the comment section. Our hashtag is hashtag #AskHerFirst anyway, so might as well, right? Hello, ladies, Jipa and Ara. Thank you for
Hi!
joining us. Eto na, parang yung two ladies natin kanina na hindi na kami nagpasikot-sikot pa. Bigay ko na rin itong napakabigat na tanong sa inyo. What is your hashtag Break the Bias and Ask Her First story? Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to do something but someone else insisted on doing it for you, or insisted that you don't do it at all just because you are a woman? And more importantly, how did you rise above the situation? Maybe we can start with Ajipa.
Yes, sobrang inspiring nung mga last speaker, parang nakaka-pressure magkwento.
Hindi naman, nakaka-inspire.
Anyway,
I've seen your videos and great content, well thought of. Go ahead, Ajipa.
Yun nga, growing up, I always feel na parang, sabi ko, ba't kaya parang ang daming disadvantage ng pagiging isang babae. And there was sometimes na naiisip ko na, sana naging lalaki na lang ako. Kasi kung lalaki ako, ang dami-dami ko sigurong pwedeng ma-achieve. Ang dami-dami ko
Yeah.
sigurong pwedeng magawa. Especially when you grew up in a very conservative community where I came from. And most of the time, yung mga babae sa amin, nasa tabi lang or
Yeah.
hindi masyadong na-acknowledge yung voices nila. So, it's not, I respect our culture and tradition kasi matagal naman din siya. But
Mhm.
it's not something that I envision for myself for all the time. Kasi, I mean, it's 2022 na nga, and
Yeah.
parang I feel like we need to progress then. So, one of my break the bias story just recently is isa talaga sa ano namin, sa mga kultura namin is arranged marriages, which is
Mhm.
hindi ko naiwasan na pagdaanan, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately. But during sa mga times na to, hindi ako natanong if it's something that I want or gusto ko ba yung ganun pangyayari.
Mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm.
was not asked first. And parang sabi ko, bakit ganun? Bakit hindi parang na-acknowledge yung opinion ko when
Oo.
hindi naman akong, di ba, it's a very simple question na, do you want this? You don't want ito
Yes,
ba?
and you're the one in the marriage.
Yeah, you are the one in the relationship and ikaw yung maggagawa ng marriage na yun. It's not someone else. So,
Yep.
I think pinaka-valuable na pinaka-worth it talaga na pagtatanungan is the person mismo, which is just me. And then,
Mhm.
hindi ako natanong. Sabi ko, why? But, yun nga, I respect tradition and culture, but it's not something I envision for myself. So I had to stand up at raise my voice and make these people understand, make the people around me understand na it's not something that I want. And hindi mo rin siya pwedeng sabihin in a way na magre-rebelde ka. Kasi isa sa
Mm-mm.
mga distinctive feature natin ng mga babae is our softness. So, I made
Yeah.
sure to use that. Sabi ko, okay, I will use my feminine energy na maging
Yeah.
soft at ipaintindi sa kanila na etong mga bagay na to ay dapat na nating gawing progressive. At the same time, we should always ask this woman first, especially sila yung nandun sa marriage. So, that's my break the bias story. So, ngayon, I'm happily single. And
Happily single.
hopefully,
All
next
right.
time, they will ask me.
Yes.
First. They will ask me first.
Nicky, I have a
Hopefully.
question though. You mentioned and acknowledged that
Mm,
I mean this goes this is a deep cultural
yes.
it's tradition, and you are in a way kind of rebelling. Did you, I mean, in a soft way, but
Yes, in a soft way.
did you ever experience any pushback when
I
you made your voice heard, when you put your feet on the ground, when you put your foot on the ground and said, sorry, no, this is not how I'm going to live my life? How was that like? What was that like?
Well, at first there were some, hmm, why are you not following the tradition? It goes a long, long, long
Mm-mm-mm.
way. So bakit ka magkakaroon ng like a voice in it
Bakit
when it's
ikaw
been
iba?
practiced?
Yes. Mm-mm.
Yes, it's been practiced for a long time. And for sa first time, ganun talaga yung naging reaction nila. So,
Mm-mm.
naging matagal siya na battle. Hindi siya
Mm-mm.
kinaya ng isahan lang. And it's a long process. Parang umabot siya ng buwan to make them see things based on my actions and not just words. Kasi hindi mo minsan makukuha yung tao sa isang salita lang. So I have to show them that kaya ko naman mag-stand up ng sarili ko
Yeah.
lang. Kaya ko mag-decide para sa sarili ko. And eventually, they have acknowledged me. They have acknowledged my voice. They have acknowledged my worth. And they have acknowledged my opinion and decision. Medyo
Di ba you
tumagal din. But
mentioned
it's worth it.
tumagal, pero dumating din naman doon. Di ba
Dumating
you
siya. It's worth
mentioned
the wait.
in Ijiba, you mentioned in one of our conversations before how this arranged marriage was, in some way economical. Like you needed to do it also because you needed to secure a future, etc., etc. And you said something that really, it spoke to me, and something like to the effect of, oh sige, edi ako na lang. Kaya ko, ako lang,
Yes, yes.
bubuhayin ko yung sarili
Yes.
ko. Yeah. Can you tell
Yes,
us
kasi
more about that?
one of the reasons then why most of us young women marry in a young age, kasi it's to secure our future. It's to secure our financial future, basically yung whole future namin. And most of the time, yung mga lalaki kasi sa amin yung parang nagsisecure. And the girls, parang ano lang sila,
Stay at
hindi
home.
sila masyadong kasama dun sa workplace. They're not very much
Mhm.
included in those mga decision making. But then, sabi ko, kaya ko naman sarili ko. I think I'm a strong, independent woman, and I can financially I can finance myself. Kaya ko
Mhm.
naman. So I don't think that that is a good reason or enough reason for me to marry at a young age. Kasi
Yeah.
kaya naman.
Yeah. Ijiba, one last question before I let you go and before I move on
Okay.
to Ara. In this whole battle, in this uphill fight, allyship is key. It's important when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, what is your advice to people on how they can help break the bias for as someone who has a platform for women online and beyond?
I think it's very important to have an open heart and an open mind and be very open to learning and educating other people. At the same time, be very, very patient na kapag may nagtatanong sa'yo, huwag kang ma-offend.
Yes.
Hindi yung may nagtanong sa'yo agad parang, uy, ano ba yung sinabi mo? Hindi mo ba alam na ganito, ganito, ganyan?
There's a
Hindi talaga
movement.
niya alam? Bakit hindi talaga niya alam? So don't be
Yeah.
offended. And of course, be open to educating people. At the same time, be open to new learnings. Dapat open ka rin. So parang back and forth lang din siya. So yeah, I think it's very
Correct.
important to have an open mind and an open heart.
There you go. Ejipa, thank you so much.
Thank
Happy
you.
to hear that you're happily single. At mamaya magchichikahan ba tayo? But for now, I'm gonna move on to Ara of Rookie Mommy PH. Ara, hi. Again, same question. I'm just gonna throw it straight at you. What is your break the bias story and your ask her first story? I'm sure as a mom, you've experienced this in so many points in your life. And so has there ever been a situation? Have you ever been in a situation where, again, I'm just repeating the question for those of you who are just tuning in. Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to do something, but someone else insisted on doing it because you are a woman? And how did you rise above this situation?
Yeah, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Jeepa. And hi to everyone who's. So, one thing that I can share, the corporate companies that we've had before.
Ara, sorry, I think we're encountering some technical difficulties. Yes, I think maybe we can try. That's so much better.
Can you hear me
Is
now?
that better?
Is that better?
Hear
Or
me
you know
now?
what?
Or you know what?
For a few
Let
minutes,
you
we'll let
go
you reconnect.
reconnect.
Magkwentuhan muna kami ni Ejipa.
Magkwentuhan.
We'll let you reconnect. I mean, technology is amazing again, but these things happen. We don't, we can't really control the factors that affect. Pero ituloy natin ang usapan because I mean, as we've been saying kanina pa, sobrang importante na meron tayong mga ganitong platforms because tama ka, Ejipa, like you mentioned kanina, they just don't know. Maraming hindi lang sila aware na nakaka-offend na pala yung sinabi nila or microaggression na pala yung hirit nila. So, you're right. It's a two-way thing. We just have to be patient and we have to educate. Diba? But Ejipa, I'm sure when somebody actually asks you first, it's not a no, right? If it's the right person.
If it's the right person, of course I'm
And
gonna
the
say
right
yes.
time. Okay, I think we have Ara back with us.
Yes,
Let's bring
Ara.
her back. Mommy Ara.
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Jipa.
There
Can
you go.
Hi.
you
So much better. We need to hear from you. All
Or,
right. So again, Ara, same question
okay,
about
so
your break the bias story.
yeah, so for me naman, I think a lot of women, especially first-time moms or women who, moms who've just really given birth can relate to my story. So I think a lot of us, especially in the corporate and traditional like office, it's so difficult to compete
Yeah.
with going through a leadership positions or promotion simply because I'm a female or I just
Yeah.
given birth or kakakasal ko lang. So things like that, I've experienced na parang it's automatic for the corporate setting to just really, put you aside or simply not just give you any projects or any leadership
Yeah.
role because they've assumed na ay wag mo na si Ara kasi kakapanganak lang niya or she's breastfeeding. Most of the time I
Yeah.
hear those assumptions na you can do this, you can do that just because you've given birth or you simply just are taking care of a child at home. So
Yeah.
for me, I really had to deal with it a lot of times throughout my motherhood, like early parenting journey. But one thing that I was able to do in order like to rise above it is to just simply acknowledge the fact that maybe they mean well as a lot of
Yeah.
us are saying. They just mean well, and just that it's automatic for them to just think that way because they don't know how to ask first. So by
Mm-hmm.
the time that I was able to realize that, and to acknowledge that fact, I also wanted to let myself acknowledge that, hey, maybe, I should have been vocal more. So I really needed to speak up in order for me to get to what I want. Like, let's say if there's an opening in a leadership role in a company, I would really voice out that, hey, I want that role. And
Yeah.
then the moment I did that, like, it changes everything. Like people would listen, like especially the higher bosses, a male, whatever
Mm-hmm.
gender they're representing, they would really listen to you. So one thing that you have to do is you just speak up. People would listen when you speak up.
I know I noticed. I mean, I've never really been in the corporate setting, but I hear it from my husband or my sister, and I know that gender biases are really most apparent in the corporate setting because they say it's a man's world, diba? And so
Yeah.
uh and then there's that whole, like, I read about it. It's called the motherhood penalty, where
That's true.
it's
Yes.
funny. Yeah, it's funny because women are the best at multitasking. That's what we're good at. It's like we can have so many windows in our head open, and we just it functions. So I just wanna ask Ara, no, like, if you have specifics where,
Sure.
like, have you in the workplace, whether or not it was done deliberately or not, can you give us a specific instance of you feeling this gender bias strongly?
Yeah, so as soon as mag 6 months si Arya, my daughter, I made sure not to get back on the job, no. As in
Mm-mm.
pagka 6 months niya,
Andito na
I
ako.
I I'm ready ganyan. Pero I did feel like that like the people that I'm working with, nandun pa rin yung parang they can't rely on me much, or nandun yung feeling
Yeah.
na pinaramdam talaga nila na they cannot count on me, which is, it was really frustrating because for me na sobrang workaholic na ako talaga yung parang bigyan niyo sa akin lahat ng trabaho, kaya ko gawin yan,
Oo.
ganun.
I can
It was
deliver. Yeah.
frustrating. Super, as in. Nakaka-degrade siya actually as a woman.
But have you ever also experienced how parang when you get feedback about how you work, women kasi we're seen as soft. We're seen as Jipa mentioned earlier, soft, nice, submissive. These are words that are usually attached to being a woman. But once a woman is assertive in the workplace, you are labeled uh, abrasive or aggressive. Did you ever experience this at all?
Yes, yes. So I think before, ako yung medyo yon yung mahinhin. Lalo na kapag bago
Mm-mm.
ka pa, 'di ba, sa work. Pero once I stepped my foot there on the ground and made sure that my presence is known. Ako rin kasi yung
Yeah.
medyo maingay sa trabaho na I make sure na yung naninita, parang ganyan. So,
Mm.
when it comes to a point na parang I had to do this job because nasa job description ko siya or I'm the boss, nandun yung
Yeah.
mga comments na, why is she being like this? Ganyan, why is she being like that? Whereas, when you see a male counterpart doing that, wala naman naririnig
Wala.
na
Yeah. It's part
So,
of the job.
part of the job. Yeah, pero pag women,
Yeah.
ako nagsalita, parang lagi na lang may personal na nangyayari. So, it happens,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like if we were to put everyone in a graph, workplace gender biases, we still have a long way to go, I believe.
Yes.
In terms of like educating and really fighting for what we want. But Ara, ito naman as a mom with a daughter, I want to ask you, how would you want your daughter's future to be different from the things as we women face in the present? So basically, what are the things you wish your daughter wouldn't anymore have to go through when the time comes na siya naman yung sasabak?
Well, for me, I hope and wish for Arya, no, that by the time that she's old enough to know what she wants in her life or anything that she wants to do in her life, is that she will just have the courage and the passion to do whatever it is and grab whatever it is that she wants to do, regardless of how different she is, or just she's simply being a woman.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you very much, Ara and Ejipa. Again, I love hearing just these different insights from different women in different stages in life. We have the young mom and we have the filmmaker, and it's just amazing. So you know what? I think let's bring back in Giselle and Helen to join us now. And again, for those of you who have questions, just keep them coming in. We're gonna try to read the comments as much as we can. We're gonna try to read as much as we can. Alrighty. So there you go. Ito na ang ating first question. This one's coming from Dina Vasquez. This goes to Helen and Giselle. She says it's always easy to ignore uninformed comments from strangers, but how do you deal with unsolicited comments from relatives during family reunions? Hey, that's a good question. Let's start with Helen.
Okay. So, Dina, thank you so much for watching. And of course, hindi natin maiiwasan yan, especially nga pag family reunions. And I know that our family members always they always say it coming from a place of love, but sometimes parang sabi nila parang concern lang kasi ako sa'yo, ganyan, kasi parang lumaki ka lalo ngayon. But then, I would say na ako basta meron naman ako mga regular checkups with my doctor and I'm healthy, ganyan. So, parang ganun lang na ipoprove mo lang sa kanila na you're happy, ganyan. And basta wag ka na lang magpa-apekto sa sinasabi nila. Kasi again, ikaw naman yung kailangan happy ka lang, and it's you who matters.
Thank you, Helen. Giselle?
Right. Yes, definitely it's harder when you have this relationship with people talking negatively, or not really talking, but thinking that you are not as good as you think you are for yourself.
Yeah.
While you were asking this question, Nikki, bigla ako may naalalang memory. There was this moment, I'm already working online, and my mom was so proud of me telling one of our relatives that, uy, alam mo yan si Giselle, or si M, my nickname, she's now earning like this, and she's working with this company from from the US, etc., etc. And then this person like, oh yeah, that's cool, but she could have done this and she can do more and then this and that, like. And so I realized that we can never please anyone, and
Yeah,
we shouldn't do that. And so
that's
what
good.
I did is just I just um plainly ignore it and just move forward and continue to put in the hard work. And I'm just so happy now that I can see whenever I post something about my business, about my brand or whatever, these people have been engaging on my content. And so that makes me so happy and content,
Yeah,
that it was a good choice not to listen and just
yeah,
ignore, but not to also fight back with them.
that's right.
Just really focus on your lane and move forward.
That's right. There you go. It's like you're wearing blinders. Don't engage, just, you know, eyes straight ahead. All right, we have a question for the mommies. All right. I guess I'm gonna throw this to mommy Ara. What are some of the common stereotypes you hear told to young girls that are actually harmful?
Okay, hi, Shalea Ruth Miran. Okay, so to answer your question, I think some of the basic things that I've observed, especially when me and Arya were going out sa mall, is
Mm-hmm.
I've seen kids like toy shopping, and then some boys,
Mm-hmm.
especially the ones, they would prefer like dolls over like cars, and then the parent would simply assume that. And I heard this just a week ago. He said something like, "Oh, anak, put it back, the Barbie doll, because you're gonna be a gay when you become older." So I heard that in Arya. I heard it. Arya also heard that. So parang she was asking na, "Mom, what is gay?" Diba? So at that time, I think it was a good opportunity for me to explain the different kinds of gender, and also how it would be less effective for the kids to learn things like that at a certain age. So for me, really, for the parents like me, maybe whatever the kids want to play with, let them be. Let them be. They're still kids. They don't know anything about the things that we want to imply to them yet.
Let them be. I like that. Let them be. All right, we have a question for Ejipa. This is coming from Aurora Balibay. I hope I said that right. How do you respond to questions about being happily single?
Hi, thank you so much, Aurora. Paano ka ba magre-respond pag sinasabihin nga you're happily single? And I'm very, very much happily single. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
I believe that sa religion namin, if God is making you wait, it means na yung inaantay mo ay sobrang worth it. So I am happy.
Yeah.
Sa balang araw, pag ma-meet ko siya, masasabi ko yon na it's worth the wait. So yes, ganon ka dapat mag-respond. Pinapaantay ako ni God kasi
Yes.
alam ko, worth it yung inaantay ko. At i-manifest
Wait
mo yon.
for the
Worth it yung
best.
inaantay ko.
Yon. Okay. Aurora, I hope you got that. And
Yes.
that was our last question. So again, we have just a few more minutes. Just really quickly, can I please get final messages from you, ladies? Just to encourage all of our viewers who are tuned in right now. Maybe we can start with Helen, just really quickly. Sorry, Helen, can you unmute yourself, please, so we can hear you? There you
Ayan.
go.
Again, thank you
All
so
right,
much
go
for
ahead.
joining us here. Sana marami kayong natutunan. And again, always remember, lagi ko nga sinasabi na lagi mong tandaan na it's your happiness that matters. So, kung ano man yung gusto mong gawin, and if aligned siya sa sa puso mo, just go do it. Because you go, girl.
You go, girl. Giselle?
Yes. To my fellow differently abled people, well, to everyone, honestly, both women and men, I encourage you to look at yourself and see possibilities. Kasi kung hindi mo siya makikita sa sarili mo, no one will. And so, I encourage you to really embrace who you are and unleash who you can become. And this goes to everyone, because everyone needs to discover themselves. And as I always say, self-awareness is winning half of the battle. And as we break the bias, let's also break the ceiling we have set for ourselves. Take up our space and conquer the world. Like, make an impossible dream for others turn into reality for you. Thank you so much, Sneaky. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Giselle. Ejipa?
Yes. Um, to break the bias, it's very important to always be yourself, and it starts with you. Breaking the bias starts with you, and always remember that you yourself is your loudest advocacy. And whenever you speak, always speak from the heart and speak not to impress people but to inspire them.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ejipa. Ara?
Okay. Hey everyone, and to everyone, especially mommies who are working and staying at home taking care of their child. I know it's really difficult to compete with the opposite gender, but whatever it is that you're doing, know that you can do it. Ask help, and just believe in yourself that everything will definitely be better for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies. My gosh, this has been such an empowering discussion. I'm actually quite sad that we're about to end the show. I feel like there's just so much more to say. I feel like this is really just the beginning. And I'm really looking forward to this, snowballing into just a huge movement that will really, aim to educate and help create, that culture of inclusivity. So again, thank you to these wonderful ladies for lending your voices. And of course, to everyone else who joined us tonight, thank you for your time. I hope we all learned a valuable thing or two from our conversation tonight, whether it was inspiration, empowerment, or a new lesson about why we celebrate Women's Month. So we might be putting a close to the celebration, but let's continue to take a stand for making things better for all women. And always remember and put into practice that in order to break the bias, we have to ask her first. This has been your host, Nikki Hill Albert. Thank you for spending a lovely night with us and breaking the bias online and beyond. Continue to let us know your thoughts on today's discussions by using the hashtags hashtag ask her first and hashtag break the bias on your social media posts. Good night, everyone, and stay safe. Bye.